Hey guys, wagwan, welcome back to Jam and Cuisine. I'm your girl Shanice. Today we will be making some cinnamon rolls from scratch. I'm so excited to share this recipe with you guys. It took me 2 tries to get it, and now we can all have some delicious and fresh homemade cinnamon rolls. So the full recipe with all the tips and tricks will be posted to my website per usual, where you can shop all the ingredients. So the first thing we're going to do is combine our milk and butter. We're going to put that over low flame until the butter is melted and the liquid is nice and warm. You do want to wait until this mixture is cooled off a little bit before adding the yeast, because we don't want to kill the yeast, guys. So make sure it's not too hot. You should be able to put your finger in it and let it sit, just warm, not super hot. You could also just put your butter and milk in a microwave safe container and microwave it if that is easier for you. So as mentioned, we'll be using yeast with this recipe. I'm using instant yeast and not active yeast. So if you're following this recipe, be sure to grab instant yeast and not active yeast, guys. I'm choosing this yeast because I don't have to proof it, and it rises faster. So once our milk and butter mixture is cooling off, we're going to go ahead and combine our dry ingredients. So to our mixer, we're going to add the flour, salt, granulated sugar, and just whisk that together. You really don't need a mixer for this. Your hands will work just fine. Once that milk is just warm, we're going to go ahead and put our instant yeast in. I'm using a whole pack. Mix that yeast until it is dissolved, and we're going to pour that mixture into our dry mixture. I attached my dough hook, and we're going to mix that all in. Once you see a dough formed, you want to take it out. We don't want to overwork the dough, guys. And then on a floured surface, we're just going to knead for like 2 minutes or so. Again, let's not work the dough. I'm going to set it to the side and allow the dough to rest just a little bit while we go ahead and work on our cinnamon filling. So I'm using dark brown sugar and of course ground cinnamon, and we're gonna mix that all together. So we have 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter softened. I'm not using it melted. Some people do it melted, but we want it to be soft. That way we can spread it all over our dough. So I just rolled my dough out flat, not a specific measurement, and then I went in with that softened butter with a butter knife, spread it all over. Then I sprinkled that cinnamon mixture on top. Make sure that everywhere is covered in this cinnamon mixture, and then I just start rolling it in. And then using a scraper or a very sharp knife, I cut it into like a little below an inch rolls. It all depends on the size that you're looking for. So to my greased baking dish, I'm going to add my rolls, and we're going to allow it to rest. I allowed mine to rest for around 2 hours. So just cover it, put it in a nice warm spot. While it's resting, we can go ahead and make that cream cheese frosting, and this is optional. I love it. It's just like the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls. I have to have my rolls with some type of frosting. So for the cream cheese frosting, we're using softened room temperature cream cheese and unsalted butter. So we're gonna add that to our mixing bowl with some sugar. You can use the powdered sugar. So confectioner sugar is recommended. However, I'm using a stand mixer, so I'm just using some regular granulated sugar. We're gonna mix that together. I did add some vanilla extract to mine, a little bit too much, but that's optional, extra flavor. So you can make it and put it in the fridge if you like. We're gonna bake our cinnamon rolls at 375 for 20 minutes. I feel mines were just a little overdone. I would have rathered it to be softer. So if you want to check yours at like the 18-minute mark, go ahead and do so. Again, it all depends on the stove that you're using. I'm using a gas stove. Guys, that is it. We have some delicious homemade fresh cinnamon rolls. I cannot believe it was that simple and super fun to make as well. Like I said, guys, all the tips and tricks needed will be posted to my website as usual. I will leave the link down below for you guys to check it out.